Ladies and gentlemen, some absolutely humongous potential leaks and data mines have hit MFF. That's right. Second leak. A second set of potential leaks have been dropped, and I wanted to share them with you for today because it seems like it may be plotting out some of the next few updates, and it can line up with some crucial updates around what we know to be now popular seasonals like Halloween and Christmas. Particularly Halloween. So I'm going to just drop the full screenshot here, and then we can just dissect it as we go along. Basically, we have a lot of names. So Mephisto, Hellstorm, Juggernaut, Loki, Sleeper, Goblin, Green Goblin, Doctor Strange, Cap, Coulson, Clea, Shang-Chi, Ghost Rider, and Domino. And so the logic behind why these characters are being singled out after taking a peek into the game files, for those of you that want to know, this is not a guarantee that any of these characters are going to get a rework or a new uniform or a tier 4 or whatever. It is just that when you look into the game files and you look at models, you can see that these models were updated. All of these models were updated. And in the past, players, eagle-eyed players, had taken a look, and I think Shang-Chi was actually one of the originals before his movie, which we also probably predicted at the time. But a lot of people had looked at his base look, and it looked shinier, and it looked like it had been touched up. And so what happens is they say, okay, we're going to do a uniform for Shang-Chi, we're going to do a tier 3 for Shang-Chi. While you're in there, art team, you know, why don't you just update some of the graphics? Like, look how nice this looks. Remember, Shang-Chi came out in 2016. He is a very... This model came out... This doesn't look like a 2016 model. Because this was touched up again, right? After the base was released, whenever, in 2016. It was then touched up in, what was it, 2020, 2021? When or 2019? I can't remember. When Shang-Chi got his movie uniform, right? Got this one. And this happens a lot, right? So new uniforms often trigger base models to get touch-ups and get sort of like cleanups. And so, for example, sear into your mind, if you want, the way that Mephisto looks. Now, he doesn't look bad by any means, but there's a possibility in the next update, you'll see his character model actually improve somewhat. Right? A little bit more pixelation, a little bit better, you know, lighting or whatever, refractiveness, whatever you want to call it, reflections. And that would be, that could be a hint. Right now, people are not going to spend the time going through 250 base models, looking every single update. Did this change? Did this change? Right? And so on and so forth. And so you kind of just get around that by just looking into the game files. And so all of these characters have had their models updated. Additionally, they have discovered 60 new skills. There's new skills for Elsa. There's new skills for Daredevil. And then the data miner says no idea what to make of it. Now, it's obviously up in the air. Anyone's guess is a good guess, right? There are no bad ideas here, but you can definitely see a pattern with some of these characters, particularly when you look at Ghost Rider, Clea, Doctor Strange, Hellstorm, Mephisto. Seems like you have a recipe for a potential Halloween or near Halloween kind of update. That is often, you know, at least in past years, recent years, has been pretty popular. Additionally, some of those characters already line up with existing content, like the Midnight Suns Team-Up collection. So it's definitely possible. You could also see which characters. So for example, if you take the list and then you cross out all of the characters who already feature in a Team-Up collection. So for example, Green Goblin is in the Sinister Six, Sleeper's in the Symbiote one, Doctor Strange is in 2 Team-Up collections, Cap is in the Avengers. We know that Ghost Rider is in the first Team-Up collection. We know Domino is in X-Force. And so you're left with these characters here. Is it possible, between these 7 characters and maybe some that we're missing here, would it be possible to come up with a new Team-Up collection? And I think it would be, because for Juggernaut, maybe not, but Fisto, Hellstorm, Loki, and then maybe not Coulson, but Clea, and maybe even Shang-Chi, you have this sort of like mystical magic theme that you could certainly see them packaging together with some other characters that aren't, you know, featured yet. They're still working on their character models, whatever. And then from a more generic point of view, you know, Mephisto, Hellstorm, Loki to an extent, Doctor Strange to an extent, and then obviously Clea because she's with him, Ghost Rider, and then Elsa could certainly be pointing towards Halloween, right? So it's pretty interesting here. We only have 2 mutants. We only have Juggernaut and Domino as mutants. So it does, whatever update is coming, it may not be a mutant update, but it may be, and we may just be missing some of the pieces, right? These are the ones that have been found, but this is not the full picture. It's just what we have so far. Some of these could be for updates happening next year in 2026, so they could be kind of distractions or sort of like misnomers, red herrings. But it's quite interesting, and there's a lot of really, really good picks. Like, you know, when we talk about getting bored of the existing tier, of the remaining tier 4 characters, and you know, who we could be getting, I do say that, but then looking at this list, I am super excited for Mephisto tier 4. That's going to be sick. Juggernaut tier 4 could be amazing, especially if they make him good for PvP, because he has a decent artifact there. Green Goblin could be pretty fun. We know he's good. They could give Clea something great, although her artifact is one of the worst in the game easily. Shang-Chi could be nice because of his tier 3 being a buff, so maybe his tier 4 deals damage. There's some really, really nice stuff there. Ghost Rider could come out of paywall hell. Not paywall, but seasonal hell. And from, you know, he has to get a buff anyways. They're not going to make him worse. So Ghost Rider, he's still good, you know? That one's kind of crazy. And then even Domino's not bad, right? We still need stronger speed characters for PvP. And Domino is not bad already. She's already decent, having access to guard break immunity. And then Elsa, I know one of my mods, Sacro, is a longtime fan of Elsa Bloodstone. But anything around Elsa, around Werewolf by Night, all those characters, Man-Thing, super duper cool. Absolutely love that. Elsa's one of the original transcended characters who did not get anything. It's a very commonplace thing now, for sure. But back in the day, people were speculating after she got her awakening, which is years ago. They're like, oh, she's going to get a uniform soon. Because that was the play at the time. They would give them the awakening or the transcendence, whatever. And then a few months later, a few updates later, boom, drop the uniform. That has not been the case for Miss Elsa. And every year for the past 2 or 3 years at least now, people have been saying, oh man, Halloween, Werewolf by Night, you know, Halloween Elsa. She's featured in a lot of Halloween type content. We know that she's like, you know, Monster Hunter. It fits perfectly with the Halloween theme. But alas, until now, we have only been debated. So a lot of really cool stuff left in the game. A lot of juice still in the tank. And that's not even covering the fact that with the most recent World Boss Legend, we could be seeing an uptick for Thanos and the Black Order. And we could see their renaissance return. And what I mean by that is, we know that they love dropping a Thanos uniform every year, right? We know. They're big fans. They're big fans of Thanos. More importantly, none of the Black Order have uniforms in tier 4s, right? None of them have gotten uniforms since tier 4 became a thing. And so we have a huge, this is not even covering Coulson and Ebony. Ebony's the only, actually Ebony's the only one. Never mind. I was wrong. One member of the Black Order has tier 4. I completely forgot about this guy. But the answer's sort of still the same because they added a member of the Black Order, right? They added Black Swan, and they even added the Black Order tag. So I could certainly see them adding the Black Order tag to everybody else and creating a new sort of PvP team hybrid kind of situation. We just need more tier 4s, right? We know Ebony has a very potent artifact for the Black Order. He just needs more help in the tier 4 category. I mean, he himself needs iframe ignore, but we know that's not something they give away anymore to characters. So yeah, it kind of just is what it is. But yeah, I think there's a lot of really cool stuff to come in Marvel Future Fight. I'm pretty excited. Those datamines are quite nice, especially Mephisto. I think a lot of people were kind of disappointed in Ironheart because Mephisto wasn't featured, despite showing up in the show. I know he only shows up briefly. I get it. But it would have been an excuse. It could have been an excuse to just, boom, give him something, right? But we also know that Netmarble, or Marvel Future Fight and Marvel Studios doesn't really do that anymore. So we kind of just have to take what we can get. We don't even get updates for some of the MCU shows now, like Agatha, etc. Despite badly needing buffs. for some of the characters. And I guess that's the one downside to these leaks, is there isn't anything for characters like Wiccan and Hulkling. There isn't anything for long-standing lame duck tier 2s like Singularity, Nimrod, Black Cat, etc. But who knows? Maybe they're on the horizon. Maybe they're on the horizon. Anyways, boys, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of those crazy leaks, those crazy data mines. Do you believe any of them? Which ones are your favorite? And which ones are missing? Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the content. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.